I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm really honored, and I'm a huge fan, and I might be having a little bit of a fangirl moment here.
That's perfectly okay. I'm very excited you had me.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's start off by talking about your new series, The Slow Burn. Can you give us a brief overview of the series and what inspired you to write it?
Well, the Slow Burn series is a romantic suspense series. A little more mainstream than some of my previous works, but absolutely romance. And what ties the books together and the common thread in the series is that all of the heroines possess unique psychic abilities. And I like to explore a different ability, for each of the heroines in the book, just so I'm not writing the same thing over and over again. And, for instance, in the first book, Raimi, the heroine, has the ability to track kidnap victims by establishing a connection to them by touching an object, at the crime scene or something that was very dear to them that would have a very strong imprint on it. The downside is that she experiences and endures every single thing the victim does once she establishes that link. As far as the inspiration, books 1 and 3 of this series they've been stories that have lived in my head and burned a hole in my head for 6 years. And I really wasn't sure I would ever get to write these stories. So it was quite by chance that I did get the opportunity, and I jumped all over it and was so excited that I was finally getting to write stories that had, literally lived with me for so long. So I was very happy to finally be able to share these stories with my readers. And as I said, they are, while they may be a little different as far as, things I've written in the past, they are still very much signature Maya Banks books. So I don't think my readers will be disappointed at all.
Oh, well, that is exciting that it's something that is really dear to your heart.
Oh, absolutely.
That you got to do that. Oh, that makes it even better. So, okay, the next thing is you're such a diverse author and have written many subgenres of romance. Is there a particular element that will set this series apart from your other ones, do you think?
At least, from what I can see of the first 3 books, I think there is an intensity to these books that may not have been matched with the previous books. It's like the level of, I won't say excitement, but the level of drama and just everything is heightened. It's almost like there's running against a clock or racing against time, in these books. And so it's almost like a kind of a breathless experience because, things happen and you have all these twists and turns, and it's really almost nonstop from beginning to end. And so that's a little different, from what I've done in the past. But like I said, there's still, like, all of my books focus on family in some way. And they are all very angsty and emotional. Those are things you're going to find in every single one of my stories, no matter what, is that emotional connection between, the characters. And you'll absolutely find that in this series as well. Even as some of the, other components may be a little different, this is still very much signature Maya Banks.
Yeah, well, and that's what I love about your books, is they're always romance and couple-centered.
Yes.
So that's what draws me to you. So
yeah, this is definitely couple-centered, even though, like I said, there's some shocker moments and things that I don't think, readers will see coming, but, it's still very couple-centric, and it's all about, Raimi and Caleb.
Oh, good. Do you think some aspects of it will be hard for readers to take in a little bit, or do you think that it's the content, or?
I think there's only one scene that might bother some readers, just because, like I said, I don't think there's any way for people to see it coming. And, right. But, I don't know. I don't know how they'll react until, obviously, after they've read the book. I'm hoping they will see it in the context of the story, and that it's not just thrown in there for shock value. It is a very believable aspect of the story based on, the things that have happened and occurred and the setup of the story. So, but it'll be interesting to see the various reactions to, that little twist later, late in the story, which basically constitutes the dark moment. But for me, the angstier the dark moment, the better. And this is one of my more angsty ones, I have to admit.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, I think whatever happens, if it's organic to the story, people will go with it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So, okay, so now that we can change things up a little bit, what determines the type of writing you explore or you write? Is it publisher request, reader demand, or something that you find interesting and think the readers would enjoy?
It's definitely the latter. All through my career, I really approach writing as a reader, and I look at what I perceive as a hole in the market. If I see something, or if I'm looking for something that I don't find, I think to myself, if I would like to read this type of book, surely other readers would too. And fortunately, I've been right on those occasions when that is what's compelled me to write a story, simply because it's something I wanted to read and couldn't find. So I said, okay, well, I'll write my own. But I'm a victim of, the ideas that hit me. I don't just sit down and think, okay, I need to think of a story with X, Y, and Z. Stories for me, it can hit me at the oddest moments at any time of the day, and it usually starts with one scene, one very powerful scene that just will not go away. And then from that scene, and it could be a scene from the first of the book, the middle of the book, or the very end of the book, and then I build a story outward from that scene. And at that point, it just takes over, like was the case with this first story 6 years ago. For me, it all began with the scene that opens the book, when the hero, forces the heroine's compliance. That's the scene I saw in my head, and it was so powerful that I knew that I had to sit down and figure out what the rest of the story was about.
I love everything pretty much you write, so
well, I'm glad to hear that.
I really identify with it, and you give me so much to choose from. So, I adore your work. So this is the final question. What can we look forward to from you in the future?
Okay, well, of course, Keep Me Safe is on sale this week. And then the second and third books. The second book is in his keeping. It releases January 2015. The third book, Safe at Last, releases in March. I have the 10th KGI story releasing in June. And then I have a brand new erotic series with the same publisher that Breathless and Surrender have been published under. I launched that next August, and those three, books, the first three books of that series will come out relatively quickly, as they, have in the past. But that'll be, it'll begin in late 2015 and carry over into 2016.
Oh, that's awesome. So one little thing, are you planning on releasing going back to the Scottish Highlands anytime soon?
I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
I've been waiting. It's not that I haven't wanted to. It's not that I'm just tired of it. But Taliesin and Brodie's story just hasn't been right yet. And for any of my readers who know anything about me, they know I refuse to turn in a book just for the sake of turning in a book. It has to be good. I have to be happy with it first, because if I'm not happy with it, I can't expect my readers to be happy. And I'm not happy with that story so far. So I am hoping to get it turned in first part of this next year. And hopefully, maybe it'll release the end of 2015. If not, I would think early 2016. I'm not sure, how closely the publisher plans to release after I turn it in.
Well, being a reader, I appreciate you taking the time and waiting to do it right, because I love that series and I want the book right. So thank you so much for being authentic and doing the best
Well,
work
I'm
you
glad
can.
you understand, because not everybody is quite as understanding.
I very much understand. I think anybody who loves your series and that series would appreciate to have the book done right, and wouldn't matter how long it takes to have the book written.
Yeah.
We want the story good. So thank you. Well, thank you again so much for taking the time from your busy schedule to stop by and chat with me. This
You
has
are
been
quite
such
welcome.
a dream for me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck with the new series.
Thank you.
Bye.